Hi, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Gwen TV TOEIC Speaking Friday Live. So, we're going to talk in English today on today's show, and we're going to talk about a set of TOEIC speaking, but I'll be only talking about TOEIC speaking when I have more than 10 people joining us live. So, let me know where you guys are coming from and what your goals are on TOEIC speaking test, okay? All right. So, today is the last Friday of May. Hmm. It is it? Yeah, it's the last Friday of May. It's not the last day because we have the 31st, but it's the last Friday of May. And I guess starting from next month, it's officially summer, but the weather isn't so hot yet. Today, the weather in Korea was warm, a little bit hot, but the air wasn't so bad. There wasn't much dust in the air, but still wasn't like crystal clear. But it isn't so hot. I think this year it's taking extra long to become summer. Yeah. Hi, Teiji. So there's Teiji Shimada-san from Osaka. Thank you for joining us as always. Oh, by the way, I already have been using my AC. Yes, I've started using the AC from mid-May this year. And when we're doing live show, especially, there are so many lights here, so it gets extra hot. So we do need to have the AC turned on. Oh, Penny Chen, seems like you're coming from Taiwan, right? And Qua Tran An, hello, thank you for joining us live from Vietnam, I guess. And I have a Chinese character name that I can't read, yes, but I believe you are coming from Taiwan. And Athena, yes, thank you. Let me know where you guys are coming from, okay? Viet Trin, a person from Vietnam, I believe. Thank you for coming. Hello. I guess it's already hot in Taiwan and Vietnam, right? I visited both countries. I visited Taiwan very often, very many times. And I really like Taiwan. I love the Taiwanese food. I love Taiwanese people, and I like, how nice and kind every one of you are. And I have good friends in Taiwan, so I always tell you guys I do have plans to visit Taiwan in the near future. Just don't know when. Like I'm trying to set up a date here, but I think it could happen within a year or so. Yes. Oh, meanwhile, while you're here, please press the like button. Oh, Athena, you're also from Taiwan. Okay. So tell us the reason why people from Taiwan are so interested in taking TOEIC speaking and getting good scores. Because I heard last time that a lot of you are getting ready to enroll for the cadet or maybe to graduate from college, is it? And to get a job, which is quite similar in Korea. Korean students, they normally, when they want to graduate from college, some schools require having high TOEIC speaking levels, scores like 160, I believe. And if you want to join the Air Force, and when they're serving in the military, they have to have something around over 160. Yes. And some companies, especially Korean Air, they're known for asking high TOEIC speaking scores. Hi, Tadashi. So you're from Tokyo? Yes. So we have people from Japan joining us, from Vietnam, from Taiwan, and anybody else from somewhere else? That's about 10 people, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, we need one more person. Okay. And it seems like a lot of Korean people are there, but you guys never say anything. Emma is from Japan. Japan, where are you from, Emma? 한국 분들도 계시면 인사 부탁드려요. 한국 분들이 제일 shy한 것 같아요. It seems like Koreans are the shyest. Okay, Huang Nguyen, you're from Vietnam, I believe. Thank you for coming. And Jeff, I really appreciate this. Okay, TOEIC speaking class. It helped me get an unexpected score 170. That's great. 170, that's pretty high. And Emma is from Tokyo. All right, so I think we have enough people here to do the live show. So let's start with the first passage. Okay, I'll show you guys the first passage. And if you have already taken the test, is this it? Is this what I have to? Oh, Jason. Okay. What is your nickname in Chinese, Jason? What does it say? It's 5-letter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the second one, the last one is Lim, is it? My Chinese is a little short. Okay. All right, guys, you are looking at the first passage. Let me read this one for you. For your better understanding, hello and welcome to the Riverside History Center. I'm Emily Carter and I'll be guiding you through today's experience. Please note that our North Gallery is currently under renovation. Instead, we'll focus on the South Exhibition Hall where we'll explore the daily life, beliefs, and artistic contributions of ancient Egypt. 서동명님, 안녕하세요. 와주셔서 감사합니다. 네. 한국 분도 오셨네요. 그죠? 제가 방송을 한국에서 하는데 대체적으로 보면은 한국 분들이 많이 조인을 안 해주세요. 채팅을. 한국 분들은 한글로 채팅하셔도 되니까 영어로 하는 게 부담스러우면 한글로 글을 남겨주세요. 제가 읽고 또 영어로 대화를 시도해 보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 그러면 첫 번째 지문이었어요. That was the first passage, and I see some hard, difficult to read words there. Now, the first word, it wasn't so hard, but it's a name of the History Center, which is Riverside. Riverside History Center. And the name of the tour guide is Emily Carter. I don't think that's a very difficult name to read. Emily Carter or Emily Carter. You can make the hard T sound. Experience, that has a second syllable stress. So experience, the stress goes on E. North Gallery is currently under renovation. I always tell you guys, any word with the T-I-O-N ending has the stress right before the T-I-O-N. The syllable right before T-I-O-N this time is V-A. So renovation. Instead, we'll focus on South Exhibition Hall. Exhibition, the stress goes on B-I. And we'll explore the daily life. That's the A. Belief, B. And artistic contributions. Now, there are some huge words there. Artistic. The stress goes on I. Artistic. Contribution. The stress goes on U. Contributions of ancient. Egypt. Okay, so the word ancient, there are some words that have C spelling, but you don't read C neither as S or K. Okay, so here the word ancient, this C is SH, the sound of SH. Okay, so ancient. Let me think about some. Oh no. It's really hard to think about any word that has SH pronunciation, but the spelling is C. I'm thinking about it. Can you guys come up with any? Ancient. I'm still thinking. Any word that has the spelling of C, but with the pronunciation of SH. But actually, parachute. That's the spelling of parachute, right? Let me check. But actually, that has already C in there, so it doesn't really count as just C sounding like an SH. But similar, parachute. Okay. Any other word that has spelling of C, but I really can't think of anything. Parasite, that's not C. Beliefs. Well, beliefs, that's a noun version of believe. Okay. And the stress for belief and believe are same. So it's believe. Okay. When it's a verb. And believe. When it's a noun. So the stress goes on the second syllable, beliefs. So the first syllable, be, you don't necessarily have to say believe. It's believe or beliefs. Oh my God, you found one. It's ocean. That's right. That's right. You are so right. It's ocean. Thank you very much, Hong. Okay, so ocean. Yes, that's a word that has spelling of C. The C is the sound of SH when you pronounce it. So ocean, that is so correct. Ocean, ocean, ancient, ancient. Okay, so ancient Egypt, Egypt. Okay, so some big words there. Artistic contributions of ancient Egypt. Ancient, the stress goes on A. Oh, you guys are coming up with more words here. Let me put it here. Ocean next to ocean and social. That's so right. That's good. Okay, ocean, social. Here. Good. Okay, so ancient, shint, ocean, ocean, social. I think we have enough. Precious, you're right, precious, okay. And social. Okay, they all have the spelling as C, but the sound is sh. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to read this twice this time. Two different versions, as you all know. One is a slow version, and the second time I'll read it very naturally, a little bit faster. But I always, encourage you guys to read in a moderate speed. Okay, fast reading is not required to get high score. So slow version would be like, hello and welcome to the Riverside History Center. I'm Emily Carter, and I'll be guiding you through today's experience. Please note that our North Gallery is currently under renovation. Instead, we'll focus on the South Exhibition Hall, where we'll explore the daily life, beliefs, and artistic contributions of ancient Egypt. Okay, so that was a slow version. But I'm telling you guys, even if I'm reading slowly, it's not that I'm not keeping the meaning phrases. I do try my best to show the meaning phrases, my understanding of the meaning phrases. Now, this is a faster version. Hello, and welcome to the Riverside History Center. I'm Emily Carter, and I'll be guiding you through today's experience. Please note that our North Gallery is currently under renovation. Instead, we'll focus on the South Exhibition Hall, where we'll explore the daily life, beliefs, and artistic contributions of ancient Egypt. Okay, so ancient Egypt. I think that's like the hardest part here. Artistic contributions of ancient Egypt. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the second passage, which is this one here. Now the second passage is this. Riddle Joker, you're coming from South Korea. Oh, so where in South Korea are you coming from, Riddle Joker? Hi there, and thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Laura Bennett, and today we're whipping up a simple but flavorful pasta dish. It's a great way to enjoy a balanced meal without using too many ingredients. So grab whatever pasta you have on hand, pull out a skillet, and warm up a tablespoon of your favorite cooking oil. Okay, I think for this passage, the words are not that tricky, but the meaning phrases are a bit harder to recognize compared to the one we read before. Okay, so hi there. That's the first meaning phrase. And thanks for joining me. Another meaning phrase there. I'm your host, Laura Bennett. Stop. And today, stop. we're whipping up a simple but flavorful pasta dish. So if I were to read, I would say whipping up a simple, stop, but flavorful pasta dish. Stop there. And while I was reading, I was able to realize that some Korean people and some Japanese people would have problem making whipping up a simple but flavorful pasta. Some confusion there with P and F and sometimes B and B pronunciation. It's all mixed in there. We're whipping up a simple but flavorful pasta dish. We're whipping up a simple but flavorful pasta dish. It's a great way to enjoy a balanced meal It's a great way, stop there, to enjoy a balanced meal, stop there, without using too many ingredients. Stop there. So grab whatever pasta you have on hand, stop there, pull out a skillet, stop there, and warm up, you have to stop here. And then a tablespoon of your favorite cooking oil. You stop there. Okay? So the meaning phrases are very big here. And for ABC, A would be grab whatever pasta you have on hand, that is A. Pull out a skillet, that is B. And warm up a tablespoon of your favorite cooking oil, that would be your C. Okay, so ABC, it's widely spread. Okay, and other than that, the words aren't so difficult. Word like Laura Bennett, Laura, L and R sound. I know us Koreans and Japanese, we all have some difficulty making different sounds between L and R. Laura, 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 right? It's really important to pull out your lips when you're making the R sound. Laura, Laura, like this. Laura, Laura. And again, when you're saying flavorful, there is F, V, and F sound. 3 sounds that are very challenging. So flavorful, when you're saying this word, you just keep your lips, both of your lips, upper and lower lips pulled out and say flavorful, full, flavorful, flavorful. Can you see my lips? Flavorful, flavorful. Okay. Ingredients. The stress goes on E. Ingredients. Whatever pasta. It's not pasta. It's pasta. Skillet. Skillet is like a frying pan, right? Skillet. I has the stress. Tablespoons. Table A. And favorite cooking oil. Favorite A. Cooking oil. Cooking has the stress. Okay, so I'm going to read this again twice, of course. So first time, try to listen carefully on how I show the meaning phrases, but still reading slowly at the same time, okay? Hi there, and thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Laura Bennett, and today we're whipping up a simple but flavorful pasta dish. It's a great way to enjoy a balanced meal without using too many ingredients. So grab whatever pasta you have on hand, pull out a skillet, and warm up a tablespoon of your favorite cooking oil. It was a little harder. It was harder to read it slowly. Okay. Now, this is the normal, natural version. Hi there, and thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Laura Bennett, and today we're whipping up a simple but flavorful pasta dish. It's a great way to enjoy a balanced meal without using too many ingredients. So grab whatever pasta you have on hand, pull out a skillet, and warm up a tablespoon of your favorite cooking oil. Okay, that will be the faster version. So we're already through with part 1. Any questions regarding part 1? Well, one question that I received this week actually was something that many of you already had asked, which is, if I have time remaining, what do I do during the test? Okay, so you go there, you have 45 seconds to read a passage, and I know most of you, if you finish reading, after you finish reading the passage once, you might have some time remaining. And in my case, I have about 28, sometimes 30 seconds remaining. Sometimes the passage can be very short. And when that time is remaining, when I have more time, some time remaining, I would read it over again. I would read it again. And then, I would be able to fit it in within the time, remaining time. Or sometimes I get cut off in the middle, but you do not have to worry about that because you've already finished reading it once, right? You're going for the second round and it doesn't matter if it fits into that second. So I prefer reading it once, not only once, but twice, but sometimes even 2.5 times. But I know you need a lot of gut to do that. You have to be very brave to read it twice because everybody else is going to be very quiet. So I say if you're comfortable just reading it once and just waiting for the time to be up, then just read it once. If you're okay, brave enough to read it twice, read it twice. Flavorful. You see how my mouth, both lips are not touching the whole time? Flavorful. Right, I'm not touching my lips. Flavorful. And if you want, when you're practicing this word, this is one way of doing it. You put your finger in front of your lips and have your lips touch the finger the whole time. Flavorful, like this. Flavorful. To keep your lips out and not touching each other. Flavorful. It's, I think, especially hard for Koreans and Japanese people to pronounce that kind of word, flavorful. Okay, let's move on to this picture here. It's not an easy one, It's not an easy picture. There are many things going on, not like activities, but there are many things in the picture, yes. But you don't have to be so precise of the names. Like, the boat, I would just say it's a boat. I don't know exact name of the boat, okay? And I think that long, big stick would be called oar. I don't even know how it's called in Korean. I know it's called an oar in English, but I don't know how it's called, what we would call that in Korean. And there's no sail on the boat. Yes, it doesn't have a sail. And yeah, anything else that you see in the picture? Share the words with me. Are there any words or expressions that you guys want me to use in my answer? Oh, Taeji says, this is a picture taken at a waterfront. Perfectly fine. Yes. Taken at a river, at a waterfront. I tell my students to memorize the word waterfront because it can be used at the ocean, at the beach, at the river, at a lake, anywhere with water, right? So at a waterfront. This is a picture taken near the water, near the waterfront, okay? At a waterfront, that's perfectly fine. Is there anyone on the boat? I don't see anybody on the boat, right? There's nobody. Maybe it's breezy or maybe it's windy. So she's like actually pressing her hat, like grabbing onto her hat so her hat wouldn't fly away. Yeah, I think that's sort of what's happening here. Emma says, I can see a huge bridge. I think so too. And the person who says breezy, I believe you're coming from Thailand, right? The letters are Thai, isn't it? Lisa's country. She's becoming really, really famous these days, all around the world. We see her in the media every time. Okay, I can see a huge bridge. Yes, it is a huge bridge. You just have to be careful when you're pronouncing that word. Huge bridge, okay? Korean people have a hard time saying huge bridge. because we do not have the pronunciation that has like lips pulled out. So huge bridge, okay? Huge bridge, huge bridge. I can see a huge bridge. What else? Yeah, I would say it's windy rather than breezy. Penny says, in the middle of the picture, I can see a woman. She is sitting on the riverbank and her left hand is holding on her hat, holding on to. When you're holding on to, like what she's doing is holding on to her hat, holding on to her hat. Okay. Holding her hat would sound like she's holding the hat in her hand separately, not on her head, right? But she is holding onto her hat, gives a feeling that she is trying to, like, prevent the hat from flying away in the wind. Jason said, in the photo, this photo is taken on the riverside, and I see a woman sitting by the river. She is wearing a large sun hat facing the water. Okay. There's a boat floating in front of her and a large iron bridge. Steel bridge, iron bridge. You don't necessarily have to define what kind of material it's made of, but crossing the river. And on TOEIC, in TOEIC, they say spanning over the water or spanning over the river. Spanning like this. Spanning over the river. Spanning over the river. And of course, we say boat is floating. Yes. There are various houses. I would say there are many houses, or there are various kinds of buildings. There are many buildings. There are various kinds of buildings. Now, these two mean different. When you say there are various kinds of buildings, as you can see in the building, some are tall, some are big, some are small. And I can see a round-shaped building on the top, at the very top. So various shapes, right? Various kinds of buildings. But like when I say there are many buildings, it means like there are just many numbers. Like there are many, lots of buildings. And nobody's mentioning trees. You see some trees among the buildings? Yes, there are some trees. I think that's what makes that place, that whole, maybe it's a little town, island, beautiful, because you can see lots of nature. Like there are some buildings among the trees, among the nature. So that's what makes that place beautiful, I think. I would love to live in those places, like some place like that. In Korea, we have places like that along the riverside, and the houses are extremely expensive. I think Korea's like most expensive houses are situated along Han River. And I know Vietnam, in Vietnam, Da Nang, you guys have Han River too, right? I was there and I think I heard of that, Han River. There are many trees near houses. You can see near houses or among houses because there are trees everywhere here and there. The area around the bridge is filled with colorful buildings and trees on the hillside. Okay, very descriptive, Jason. And Hung, this picture was taken on the riverside. There's a woman sitting in front of a boat, and in the foreground, the woman is sitting wearing a hat and has long blonde hair. In front of her, there is a red boat. Okay, when you want to say blonde, the spelling is D or blonde with an E. Both are okay. How about touching her hat? Touching her hat seems like she's just like touching it and trying to take her hand off of it. Okay. I think it depends on how you see the picture, but to me, the weather is a little bit windy, and Taeji, if you have worn a hat like what she's wearing, sometimes wind can take that hat away. Believe me, it could happen. So I think that's why she's holding on to her hat. Okay? But It could be touching her hat. We don't know what's actually going on. Yes. Or you can say her hand is on the hat. Her hand is on the hat. She's wearing a hat, but in this case, you would have to say she is wearing a hat and her hand is on the hat. Right? She's wearing a hat and her hand is on the hat. Okay, so I think I have enough information to fulfill my 30-second answer. So here I go. 30-second. This is a picture taken at a waterfront, and I can see one woman in this picture. She is in the foreground of the picture, and she is sitting down wearing a hat, and she is holding onto the hat. So maybe it is breezy or maybe windy right now. And in front of her, I can see a boat floating on the river, and in the background of the picture, I can see a big bridge spanning over the river, and behind the bridge, I can see many buildings and trees, and maybe she's having a good time. Whoa, I almost missed the last sentence. See, even with the picture, only with one person, it's really hard to talk about everything in the background of the picture. Okay, 30-second is a very short time. It's very limited. You can't talk about everything in the picture, especially anything in the background. So I think I spoke fast enough. It's going to be harder to talk faster than me. So I think that's about how much you can talk for a talk about this picture. I think a man is enjoying her weekends. A woman. I think the woman is enjoying her weekend. Sticky fingers are from Taiwan. Thank you for coming. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next picture, which is this one here. Okay, more things are happening. Very, 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 very busy. Yeah, it's really hard to describe everything completely within 30 seconds. It seems like a sunny day. Yes, Hung, if you want to be precise, you would have to say, it seems like a sunny day. Because day is a countable noun. All right, guys, we're going to move on to the next picture here. I think it's not a restaurant. It's rather a party, right? I used to have this kind of party when I used to work for a French company. And, you know, French people, like Western people, French people, to be specific, that I was working with, they would have parties like this all the time. Like we would drink, it's like a potluck party. So potluck party is where you would bring your own food, or it would be BY, bring your own bottle. This is bring your own bottle, or sometimes it is said bring your own booze. Booze means alcohol. Okay. So bring your own bottle, bring your own booze, meaning bring your own thing to drink. Okay. So it would be a potluck party, or it would be, you know, BYOB concept. So people would bring food, drinks, wine, and we would just like not sit down because there are not going to be enough seats there. And we would just like, you know, hold our glasses, plates, eat, drink. And then people would go home, or we would stay and then go for another round. Yeah. So, and people just talk. They don't play games like Korean people. They don't play like apatu apatu. No, they just talk. Small talk. Okay. Taeji, this is a picture taken at a party. You can just say taken at a party or a party venue. Emma, there are many foods and beverages on the table. That's right. It seems like the colleagues are having a party. Good. You could also say it looks like they are colleagues. Or it looks like they are friends. Let's go into some specific actions here. What are we doing? What are they doing with the food, the plates, the glasses? Yes. There are some interesting appearances that you can describe, I think. I'm still waiting for you guys to provide more words and expressions. Seems like that is a white wine, and the guy, maybe that's like a cocktail or maybe just juice. He's just like pouring some juice into the wine glass. What can you say they're doing about the food? Okay, Jason, I think this photo was taken at a house party and there are 6 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, you're being very specific here. On the right, the woman wearing a long jacket is picking some food from the table. You have to say picking up, not picking. Picking some food, picking up some food, picking up some food, okay? On the right side, Penny, I can see a woman. She has black hair and she is taking some food and smiling. She's getting some food and smiling. And Hung, this picture was taken in a party. Normally you would have to say at a party. At a meeting, at a party. When there's an event, normally say at an event or at a conference. Yes, these are all events, right? So they are all using the preposition at. Okay, and where was the one? Hung. In the foreground, 4 people are sitting next to a table. They're not sitting, I think they're standing, and 2 women holding their plate. 2 women are holding their plates, and a man is pouring some wine. Yeah, I don't think, honey, sweetheart, I don't think they're like, sitting down. I think they're standing up around the table, gathered around the table. Maybe you can also say that. And in front of the picture, Taiji, you cannot say in front of. You have to say in the foreground of. Okay, in front of. If you want to say in front of in this picture, you would have to say in front of them. There are many things on the table. You can say this. Okay. In the foreground of the picture, there is a table. But you cannot say in front of the picture. You can never say in front of the picture. There are 3 people. They are picking some food. No, it's picking up some food. They are picking up some food. You can also say he is reaching for some food. She is getting some food. Okay. Emma, one of the men is pouring an orange juice. Now, orange juice is actually uncountable. So if you want to say orange juice with something, an article, you have to say some orange juice. Some wine. Wine is actually also uncountable. So when I say there's a wine, it actually means a wine bottle, a bottle of wine. On the right, where am I? I can see a woman with curly hair. She's holding a plate and picking up some food. Make sure you guys check this, okay? It's picking up some food. On the left, I can see a couple, and one of them is a man. He has a beard and he is standing. It's got to be present progressive, okay? He is standing. He is holding a wine glass, a glass of wine. That's totally fine. Okay. She's smiling while picking up. They are, everybody, picking up some food. Okay. Or you can also say this. They are putting some food on their plate. They are putting some food on the plate, on their plate. But you cannot say they're picking some food. Okay, the time when you say picking something is He is picking an apple. He is picking an apple. Picking some apples. Now, when the person is picking some apples, they're actually getting the apples from the trees. Okay, so there's an apple tree and there are apples in the tree, and you're getting the apples from the tree, then you are saying picking an apple. Okay, here it's picking up some food, picking up. It's a different situation. Boo! Wow, what is this? Got a yellow note here. It says, "Hi, Gwen. I used to use your video to practice TOEIC speaking a lot. They are vastly helpful. I got a decent score last month, so I want to appreciate you." Oh my gosh. Great. I wonder what score you got. Thank you. And oh, okay. All right. I'm missing some answers here. Jason, next to her, the woman is serving herself some salad. Okay. Helping herself to some salad. What would we say this? She is helping herself to some salad. Okay. So there are various ways to say about like how they're getting the food, but you cannot say this is not for this picture. Okay. No good. He is picking some apples, meaning getting the apples from the tree. Okay. Two people are standing against the wall. That's good. But actually, when somebody is standing against the wall, they have to actually lean on the wall and put their weight on the wall. So standing against the wall, I would say the woman maybe is standing against the wall, but I'm not pretty sure about the men. But yes, okay, that could be one of the expressions that you can use. And they're looking at their friends and smiling. I would also say standing by the wall. You can also say standing by the wall. Because when somebody's standing against the wall, you can see some weight that's been put on the wall. And in this case, it's really hard to tell. Two other people are leaning against the wall. Okay, leaning against the wall or standing next to the wall. Koa, I really liked how you said standing next to the wall or standing by the wall. Two people are, I would say it's too long, are standing next to the wall, or they are standing by the wall, or they are, Emma, how about standing behind the wall? No, you cannot say standing behind because they're not behind it, okay? The only person, it's a little hard to say, hard to put it this way, but the only person I would say that someone is standing behind. No, nobody is actually standing behind. When I want to say somebody's standing behind the counter, it would be the clerks, the staff at a store who are like standing behind the counter. Okay. So they are standing by the wall or standing against the wall if there's more weight put on the wall. But I would stay with they are standing next to the wall or they are standing by the wall. Okay. You can also say they're standing to the side of the room. They are standing on one side of the room. To the side of the room. Not in the center, right? Okay, so stick with they're standing next to the wall or they're standing by the wall. Now, that's the thing. When you want to say leaning against or standing against the wall, it's more like putting the weight on it. Okay, you have to put the weight on the wall. And it doesn't look like they're putting some weight on the wall there. Okay, so there are a lot of expressions that I have to use. 30 seconds. Here I go. This is a picture taken at a party, and there are several people in this picture. In the foreground of the picture, there's a long table, and there are many kinds of food and dishes on the table, and I can also see some wine there. And on the left side of the picture, two people are getting some wine and food. On the right side of the picture, a woman is holding her plate and looking at some food. In the background of the picture, I can see a man pouring some orange juice into his glass, and on the far left side of the picture, two people are standing against the wall and maybe they're having a good time. Okay, I'm going to try that one more time, okay? There are too many things going on. I think I spent too much time on the table part. So give me another chance, guys. Okay, here I go again. This is okay. I know you guys can't do this on the test, so I'll do it for you guys. This is a picture taken at a party, and there are several people or many people in this picture. In the foreground of the picture, there are three people standing around the table, and one of them is holding a glass of wine, one of them is getting some food, and one of them is holding her plate and looking at some food. And in the background of the picture, I can see a man pouring some orange juice, and on the left side of the picture, I can see two people standing by the wall, and they're having a good time. Yes. Wow. So you should have learned a lesson from watching me saying that answer, that you don't ever, never, you never have enough time for part two. 30 seconds is not long enough to talk about any kind of like objects or anything in the background except for the people. Okay. And you are to mention anything, any people, anybody appearing in the picture. Okay, first, then to talk about the food and the wine and all the dishes, sandwiches there. Okay. Gosh, every time I get so nervous doing this, It isn't easy. Okay, so we're going to move on and we're going to talk about the questions for part three. Okay, so narration says, imagine that an English newspaper company is conducting research for an article and they want to collect information about people's behaviors and preferences when moving to a new neighborhood. So the first question is, do you have any plans to move to a new home? Do you? Let's talk about this, guys. Personally, I've been wanting to move out of my current house for years because I've been living in the same old place for more than a decade. It's been like 12, 13, almost like 14, 15 years, I think. And I really, really want to move to a new place, but I just haven't found the right place yet. So I'm planning all the time, but it's really hard to find a place and to actually make a move. But I guess if you guys are in your 20s and maybe, going to college, I guess if you get a job, you do have plans to move to a new home because you wouldn't be staying near your school anymore, right? Hang, yes, I want to move to. Okay, so move to a new place. Let's say place. Move out of my parents. Or move out of the dorm. Or move into a new house. On campus. On campus. And I have to move out. I have to move out. I have a plan to move to a new home, especially after I get retirement. Oh, I retire. So after retirement, after I retire, I want to move. After I graduate, I want to move. I have to move. Penny, yes, I have plans to move to a new home because my home is too far from the company. I want to move to a new place closer to. It's closer to. It's far from. It's near. These are some expressions: close to my office, far from my office, near my office, You don't say nearby my office, okay? Nearby is an adverb, so you cannot say nearby my office. That's wrong. Okay, and Emma, I will move to a new house next month because I have been living in the same house for a decade and then found the right house to live. Oh, Emma, you're so lucky. I am constantly looking for a house that I can move out to, but it's really, really hard to find the right place. Yes, you're so lucky, girl. All right, so I think that's enough for the first one. Now, the second one is, do you prefer living in a standalone house or an apartment? Now, standalone house is really rare to find, especially in Seoul, because Seoul, the land is extremely expensive. So having a standalone house means that you own that piece of land all to yourself. So a lot of people, including me, are living in apartments. Yes. So we own a unit in this whole like big apartment building, or we rent the place there. So I actually have a friend who lives in Jeju, and luckily she met a guy who was able to afford building their own house. So it wasn't that expensive to build a house, but still, he was able to afford to build a house. And I saw them like build up a house from scratch, like literally on a piece of land. They first, how we would imagine it, they would buy a piece of land and they would like build things up just like a Lego. And you know what? The guy goes out to work. He never takes care of the house. And it's my friend who has to take care of the house. And it's a lot of work. Yes, you have to clean the house, not only inside, but you have to clean the house outside, around it. And, 4 seasons go by. Every season, there are other things to do. So I've seen her do it, and I don't think it's a good idea to actually live in a standalone house. That's my personal thought. But let's see how you guys think. So, Emma says, I would prefer living in an apartment because it does not cost a lot, and living in a standalone usually costs more than people expect. That's right. It costs a lot. Hang, I prefer living in an apartment to okay, where's Hang's answer? Because I can facilitate many amenities. That's right. In an apartment, normally in the basement, there are a lot of things that you can use. In my basement, there's a small gym and there's a golf like practice place and you can play ping pong. So, yeah. And Penny, I prefer living in a standalone house because I want to have more space and privacy. There are so noisy. Oh, yeah, there are noisy next door neighbors. There are, I have good next door neighbors. I have noisy next door neighbors. Okay, next door. Or in Korea, noise coming from upstairs is a huge issue. It's like a societal issue. And there are some killing going on because of that matter. So there's a lot of noise coming from upstairs. And I do have 2 little boys living upstairs, but I don't say anything about the noise that they create. I actually enjoy hearing their noise. It's like, they're not sleeping yet. Jason, I would prefer to live in an apartment in a convenient downtown because I want to save time to commute. On commuting, and if I live in the city center, I can get home quickly after work. That's true. And go, I prefer to live in an apartment because I live in a big city and it is very expensive to live in a standalone house. And moreover, an apartment is convenient because it is well equipped and modern. That is like a perfect answer. Go the new. I really like your answer. Hello, Yam. Thank you for coming. Let us know where you're coming from. And Sticky Fingers, I prefer living in a standalone house because I don't like to deal with neighbors, and apartments also have some rules that you need to follow. It is true. There are some rules that you have to follow, but we're living in a society with everyone. It's a community. We have to blend in, right? Okay, so it seems like most of you prefer to live in an apartment. Okay. And the last question is, which of the following do you think is the most important factor when choosing a place to live? A fitness center, a nearby park, or a good restaurant? Good restaurant. I'm actually very lucky to have all three nearby. Yes. I have a fitness center downstairs. I have a park that's within a 5-minute walking distance, and there are so many good restaurants around here. There is, in fact, two good restaurants on the first floor of my building, and there is a supermarket that's like open 24 hours. It's not even a convenience store; it's a supermarket that's open 24 hours. They sell fish, fresh meat, and all kinds of groceries, like processed food. It's open 24 hours, so it is so convenient. Can't imagine how convenient it is. Yes. So it's very close, and it's really important to have all three of these, right? Even on a rainy day, I don't even have to carry an umbrella to go to a fitness center, a restaurant, or a grocery store. Of course, who would go to a nearby park on a rainy day, right? So, what's the most important factor? If I were to choose one, if I have to choose one, then I would say, a nearby park. Yes. Personally, because if there's a park, I wouldn't actually have to go to a fitness center. I can just jog or like ride my bicycle at a park. And good restaurants, I prefer cooking at home than eating out. And if I have to eat out, I'm like willing to travel. So I would say a nearby park. I think it's really important to live in a neighborhood where there are green trees, like nature around you. Emma says good restaurant is the most important factor when choosing a place to live because I do not usually cook at home and I often eat out for lunch and dinner. I think that's the case for many Taiwanese people. Yeah, you guys, the cost of eating out isn't so expensive in, Taiwan. You can get really cheap food, really delicious cheap food just to like, have a meal. And sometimes you can choose to go to an expensive restaurant, but there are all kinds of restaurants available there. So I really like that thing about Taiwan. And the food is so delicious, even if it's cheap. Go the Nunu. I think a fitness center is the most important factor because I don't want to travel a long distance to exercise. A nearby fitness center can help me stay motivated and stick to my exercise schedule. That's right. So nowadays, more and more people in Asia, in Asian countries, including Korea, Japan, and Taiwan, are becoming more interested in working out. And in Korea, it has become a fashion. It's become a fad to be working out. It's been about a decade. And, people are working out at the gym. They like to lift weight and become muscular. And Korean guys are becoming like muscular and they have like wide shoulders and abs. More and more people are becoming like that. Yeah. So I think people are obsessed about working out and going to a fitness center. So it's to keep their exercise routines. And Hang, I think living near a park is the most important factor when choosing a place to live because it helps them save time and take little time to go to a park or parks. For example, I live near a no-go park. Yeah. I don't go to the park very often, but just like passing by the park, seeing the flowers and trees just makes me feel better, I think. I there are some like apartments that I've been looking at. And one reason that stops me from going or moving to that place is that it's not close enough to like parks. Like when it gets closer to the main Gangnam area, the land is more expensive. And there are parks, but it's like itsy bitsy small parks where only maybe 10 people, if there are 10 people there, it's already crowded. So there are some artificial, like man-made parks, but it's just too artificial. It's not natural. It's got to be nature. It's got to be natural. That's what parks are for. So, okay. So I think I'm ready to give you my answer. Hold on. Let me go back to the first one here. Okay. So, do you have any plans to move to a new home? Actually, I've been wanting to move to a new home for a long time, but I haven't found a good place to move out to. So I don't have any plans to move to a new home, but I wish to find a place where I could move in the future soon. Okay. And the second one, do you prefer living in a standalone house or an apartment? Actually, it depends on the situation. If I am super rich and if I can afford it, I prefer living in a standalone house and hire a lot of people and pay a lot of money to maintain that house. However, if I have to live on a budget, I think it's better to live in an apartment. It's very convenient. Okay. And the last one is, which of the following do you think is the most important factor when choosing a place to live? A fitness center, a nearby park, or good restaurants? I think a nearby park is the most important factor for me because I like to work out, but I do not work out at a gym. I can do yoga at home and I can just like go for jogging or ride a bike. So I don't need a fitness center. And I like to cook at home, so I don't eat out that often. And if I want to eat food, I prefer like ordering food at home from home. So I think a nearby park is very important because I like to stay at a place where it's nature friendly. So that's the most important thing to me. As you can see, you got to keep talk. You have to keep talking, fulfill the 30 seconds to the last second, okay? And that's how you aim for a higher score. Some people just like say one or two sentences and they just sit there thinking they have answer to the question. It's not a good way to get higher score, okay? All right, now moving on to the chart for part 4. Okay, it says on the top, International Floral Design Seminar. And we've been seeing this kind of chart for many weeks now, consecutively. And it's like a very common or thing that we always see in part 4, right? It's like a usual one. It's a regular kind of chart that we always see, so you should know how to do it by now. And it's going to be held on Sunday, July 14th, and it'll take place in Garden Hall at Riverfront Exhibition Center. And look at the time here. It's not 9 a.m. Guys, you have to be careful. It's not 9 a.m., but it's 9:05 a.m., okay? So the way you read this number is not 9:05 a.m., but it's 9:05 a.m. It's 9:05 a.m., okay? Gets tricky there. And there's opening remarks, which will be given by Olivia Bennett. And then at 9:30, there will be a lecture on the psychology of color and floral design given by Luca Moretti. At 10:30, Rachel Kim will lead the first workshop on wildflower bouquets with a twist. And then at 11:30 a.m., there will be a networking lunch. And you see that little star over there? It's connected. It's related to the thing on the bottom. There it says, networking lunch will be catered by Petal and Vine Bistro. So it will be catered by somebody. And then at 1, there will be the second workshop on creating elegant seasonal arrangements led by Grace Yamada. Okay. At 2 p.m., David Lin will give a presentation on floral trends of 2025. And finally, at 3, there will be a Q&A and closing session led by a panel of speakers. And if you want to participate, it'll cost $85, but only if you register before June 30th, right? 30th. And then if you register on site, it'll cost $120. And that's it. Okay, let's see how well you guys have listened to my explanation of the chart. Now, here goes the first question, guys. When and where is the seminar going to take place? And do you know the registration deadline? So everybody share your answers in the chat room because I have to check the grammar. Grammar is the most important thing for this part. So when and where is the seminar going to take place? And do you know the registration deadline? When and where? The registration deadline. Okay. So when and where is the seminar going to take place? And do you know the registration deadline? Penny says, it'll be held on Sunday, July 14th, and it'll take place at Riverfront Exhibition Center, Garden Hall. The registration deadline is June 30th. Okay. In English, when it comes to giving information with prepositional phrases, they prefer to give more specific details first. So it's got to be, it will take place in Garden Hall at Riverfront Exhibition Center. It'll take place in Garden Hall at Riverfront Exhibition Center. Okay. Emma said the seminar will be held at Riverfront. No. In the Garden Hall at Riverfront Exhibition Center. On Sunday. On the day comes first. On Sunday, July 14th. Ngothi Nunu, the seminar will take place on Sunday, July 14th. That's right. In the Garden Hall of the Riverfront Exhibition Center. Yes, you can say that too. You can put all that information into one sentence and that'll be totally fine. Good. And when you say it will be held or it'll take place, I'm going to contract these two words. Okay. It'll take place on Sunday, July 14th. Okay. And it'll be held on Sunday, July 14th. But the registration deadline is July 30th. No preposition. No preposition. Okay. There's no preposition here. Teiji, it'll be held on at in the Garden Center at Riverfront Exhibition Center. Okay? Small location first. Specific location first. And then it goes big. Okay. Suki, can I watch the recorded video of this live after the show? I fell asleep. Yes, you can watch this video after the show. Yes, I think so. July 30th. No, it's June 30th. Sorry, June. Okay. So actually the registration deadline, they don't mention anything about the registration deadline, but if you register early before June 30th, it will cost $85, right? But if you register on site, it will cost $120. No, Jason, you got it right. Yes, what Jason is saying is absolutely correct. But I want to correct you on one thing, Jason. If you want to say the location, information correctly, it'll take place in the garden hall, at the riverfront exhibition center. Okay? Everyone, I was telling this. I was saying this. You have to give small location information first, and then the bigger one, the larger one comes afterwards. So the garden hall is a little room, not a little room, but a room at that center. You can also say that, Emma, if you register in advance before June 30th, right? Okay, next question. Question number 9. I'll need to leave by 4 that day for personal reasons. And do you think I'll miss anything major if I leave a bit early? The question again is, I'll need to leave by 4 p.m. that day for personal reasons. And do you think I'll miss anything major if I leave a bit early? I'll need to leave by 4 p.m. that day for personal reasons. And do you think I'll miss anything major if I leave a bit early? Was the second question. I'll need to leave by 4 p.m. that day for personal reasons. Now, do you think I'll miss anything major if I leave a bit early? I'll need to leave by 4 p.m. But it's a little bit tricky. You have to be a little bit careful answering this question. And Penny, you got it right. No, it'll finish at 3:50 p.m. so you won't miss anything. That's a perfect answer. And there's nothing to add, actually. Yes, there's nothing to add, but I can give you a tipper. Now, guys, we're always aiming for a little bit like more higher score, right? So everybody's asking me, so teacher Gwen, how can I get 160? I'm stuck at 150. Now, this is a tip for you guys. So in the question, the person mentions, I'll need to leave by 4 p.m. Okay, so will I miss anything important? Now, if you add some like notes, like if you add some information to show that you have actually heard something like clearly, for example, everybody's giving the right information here. So but nobody's using this, tactic. Actually, I would say this, actually no, because the seminar will end at 3:50. But you can also say you won't miss anything if you leave at 4 p.m. Anything, what else? Major. So you don't need to worry about it. Now, what I'm doing is I'm showing the rater that, you know what? I heard the word major. I heard the person say miss anything major, and I sort of copied and pasted what I heard, and also heard leave at 4 p.m., which is a very crucial information. I heard it, so I copied and pasted it in my answer. So I'm showing the rater. It's not like I get the glimpse of what the person wants, but I know clearly what the person said. I know clearly. I understood 100% what the person said. And it's like to show your understanding of it's to prove your listening skills and showing them I got all the information. So, give me more score points. Try using this tactic next time you guys go for the test, okay? Okay, and the last question is, I am really hoping to get some hands-on tips about making bouquets or arranging flowers. Is there a session you'd recommend for someone like me? Okay, again, I'm really hoping to get some hands-on tips about making bouquets or arranging flowers. Is there a session you'd recommend for someone like me? That's the question. You have to look around to figure out what 2 sessions are related to this. I'm really hoping to get some hands-on tips about making bouquets or arranging flowers. Is there a session you'd recommend for someone like me? Ow. Or you can simply say the event will finish before 4 p.m. Yes. Okay, let me read you the question again. I'm really hoping to get some hands-on tips about making bouquets or arranging flowers. Is there a session you'd recommend for someone like me? Of course, Minnie says. There are two at 10:30. Uh-huh. There will be a workshop on wildflower bouquets with a twist led by Rachel Kim. And then Grace Yamada. Sorry. Yamada will lead a workshop on creating elegant seasonal arrangements. Yes. Yeah, of course. Let me check. And there are two workshops you can attend. The first one is Wildflower Bouquet with a Twist. Jason, I have a little problem with how you put the words there. It's better to say it the way Penny Chen provided on the up above your answer. Yeah. Suki, I thought she needed to leave by 4 p.m. and she said that she needed to leave a little. Can I will answer if you leave if you won't miss anything. Actually, she said I'll need to leave by 4 p.m. You can think that she's leaving at 4. Yes. But you're right, Suki. You won't miss anything if you leave after 3:50. It's just totally fine. And go the new. Well, there are two sessions I'd like to recommend. Oh, okay. And there will be a workshop on wildflower bouquets with a twist led by. Okay, good. So, Jason, you have to be careful. There will be a workshop on something led by, right? Or you can say, I'm going to just write my name there. Gwen will lead a workshop on something. Okay? So these are the two ways you can talk about the workshop and the title of the workshop. And Emma, if you want to say it will, then you have to say be led by Gwen. Okay. I think the answer that you guys can all refer to is already given by Penny Chen. Okay. It's actually the first answer provided for the last question of part 4. So why did you guys refer to Penny's answer? She said, of course, there are two. At 10:30 a.m., there will be a workshop on wildflower bouquets with a twist led by Rachel Kim. And at 1 p.m., Grace Yamada will lead a workshop on creating elegant seasonal arrangement. And to close that up, I think it'd be good for Chen, Penny Chen to say both of them should be helpful for you. Or you can say both of them should be interesting. Or you could say I'd like to recommend both of them to you. Okay. But you don't really actually have to, add these. This is something additional. Not like, required. But highly recommended. All right, so I think I'm ready now. Let me share my answers. Watch how I try my best to fulfill that time. Okay, although the answers might not be that long. When and where? Okay, so question 8. When and where is the seminar going to take place? And do you know the registration deadline? Well, the seminar will be held on Sunday, July 14th, and it'll take place in the Garden Hall at the Riverfront Exhibition Center. And if you register before June 30th, it'll cost $85. But if you register on site, it'll cost $120. Wow, that is very short. You have to be really quick. You have to be really fast to fit everything in there. Okay, and next question. I'll need to leave by 4 p.m. that day for personal reasons. And do you think I'll miss anything major if I leave a bit early? Actually, you won't miss anything because the last session is scheduled to end at 3:50 p.m. So if you leave at 4 p.m., you won't miss anything important. So I don't think you'll have to worry about anything. Okay. And the last one. I'm really hoping to get some hands-on tips about making bouquets or arranging flowers. Is there a session you'd recommend for someone like me? Yes, indeed. There are two sessions that I would like to recommend. First of all, first one will start at 10:30 a.m. and it will be a workshop on wildflower bouquets with a twist led by Rachel Kim. And then after lunch, there will be the second workshop on creating elegant seasonal arrangements led by Grace Yamada, and it'll start at 1 and finish at 1:50 p.m. Both of them should be very helpful for you. Okay, so those are the answers that I would say. And let me do that first one, the question 8, once again, because I was a little short on time. My answer was a little like a second longer. So I want to try that again. When and where is the seminar going to take place? And do you know the registration deadline? Well, the seminar will take place on Sunday, July 14th, and it'll be held in the Garden Hall at Riverfront Exhibition Center. And the registration deadline is June 30th. But if you are late, you can register on site. Okay, I just wanted to put it that way too. Okay. Because the person was actually asking for the registration deadline. So the registration deadline is June 30th. That much information would be just fine. Okay. Now moving on to the last question, which is, do you agree that actors need to be attractive in order to be successful? Why or why not? Give specific reasons and examples to support your opinion. Oh, you know what? Yesterday, my friend and I, we were having a conversation about this exact topic. We didn't have this question in mind because she doesn't know anything about TOEIC speaking, but we were talking about like two actresses, like two Korean actresses. And we were talking about a person named Chun Ji-hyun. I know Korean people, everybody would know Chun Ji-hyun. Whether you're old, whether you're young, Chun Ji-hyun, everybody knows her. And there's a person called Lee Tae-ri. Her name is Lee Tae-ri, right? Is it Kim Tae-ri or Lee Tae-ri? Tae-ri. Kim Tae-ri? Okay, sorry, it's Kim Tae-ri. See, sorry. Okay, so it's Chun Ji-hyun and Kim Tae-ri. Okay, so it's Ji-hyun and Kim Tae-ri. Okay, I don't know how they spell their names in English. People have different spellings for different, but Kim would be Kim, but so this is how I would put it. But Chun Ji-hyun, now she's married, but when she was in her 20s, she was like super popular. She would be doing all kinds of like, commercials for Samsung and everything. And she was like, the girl. And we were talking about like these two people yesterday. And my friend, she's a huge fan of Kim Tae-ri. And she's like, oh, this actress, like she's a new one. And she's like, up and coming. And, she is very attractive and her acting is great. And her like vocals, she has a very good like, voice. So she has a very good diction when she speaks, it like gets to your ear. So she's really, I admit she's a very good actor. But I think she has less fan base than Chun Ji-hyun. I don't think that's my personal opinion. I know there are a lot of fans out there who's supporting Kim Tae-ri, but I think Chun Ji-hyun has like a wide fan base. And that is not because Chun Ji-hyun is a better actor, or you might say actress, but I think because Chun Ji-hyun has more attractiveness. She has more charms. She is very playful. She is very funny, sexy, and charismatic. And she's got so many charms going on. But Kim Tae-ri, I know she's attractive. I know. But still, I think, in a way, Kim Tae-ri is a better actor. But then Chun Ji-yeon has more charms. She's more attractive. But to be honest, Chun Ji-yeon is much more successful. So we were talking about this, but I'm fan of both of them, I would say. I'm not like supporting just one person, but she supports Kim Tae-ri, so we were having this like argument. And I think I don't know why we were having this conversation, but that would be the answer for this question. Do you agree that actors need to be attractive in order to be successful? I personally think they need to be attractive. I mean, of course, they need to act well. They need to have good acting skills. But somehow they need to have that charm. They need to have attractiveness, charm, in order to be successful, right? So, likable, likability, likable, likable, likability, like ability. Yes, likable and likability. I had a coaching for public speech one day, and he's like a world champion. And he told me there's everything that he can teach me. He can teach me how to like say things better. He can teach me how to put words in a better, like more attractive way, or like, ear catching phrases. But he can never teach one thing, and that is likability. Yeah, so a person to be likable by people, that is something that you're born with. It can never be taught. So, well, some people could have more likability over others, I guess. Jason says, yes, definitely. I agree that actors need to be attractive in order to be successful. And first of all, actors should be in good shape and have a positive attitude toward their fans. In addition, they need to perform well in movies and show strong acting skills. If they have all of these traits, it's easier for them to succeed in the industry. For example, I think Tom Cruise is a great example. He works very hard, stays fit, and is known for his excellent acting. That's why I totally agree with this statement. Yeah, I think Tom Cruise has that likability. Yes. I personally don't like Tom Cruise, to be honest. He's got some religion issues going on, and he has some family issues. And he's not like seeing his daughter for religion, like religious matters. He's not seeing he lost me for that reason and that reason only, because I liked him a lot. But before knowing that this religion of his is like, stopping him from seeing his daughter, I thought that was a little off. But everything else, he's very he works very hard. He loves Korea. He's staying fit. He's always doing all these like great things in the movie industry. He's an excellent actor. People like his new movie recently released, Mission Impossible, the last one of the series. And I think he's great. Yes, he has that likable, factor. Penny, I agree that actors need to be attractive in order to be successful, and there are several reasons. Firstly, when actors have more beautiful appearance, they will have more performance chances. They will have more stage to perform, therefore people will know them. And secondly, the more people know them, the more comments will be left on the internet, and actors can review a lot of feedback to improve their performance. Actors improve themselves constantly, they will be successful. Okay, so you guys are all talking about appearance. Okay, appearance is of course a charm that attracts people, but being attractive is, I think, a little bit different from being good looking. But I think being good looking is one of them. Attractiveness could be like being humorous. I have some like comedians that I like to follow, and I like to listen to their comedies, stand-up comedies, and they don't like look good appearance wise, but still they're very attractive and they're very successful. So to most Asians, I think, especially like Koreans, when they say attractiveness, we would all think about like the appearance. And it's a very important factor somehow to be in the show business. But yeah, appearance, like attractiveness comes in many different forms, I think. Yeah. And I think both Chun Ji-yeon and Kim Tae-ri, they are beautiful ladies, but they're not like the prettiest like actresses out there. There are like more like prettier actresses, there are more beautiful actresses out there, but they both have attractiveness, like charms. And oh, for Penny and Jason, I think you guys provided good enough information to support what you are like, saying your opinion. But I wonder if your answers could last for 1 minute. And yeah, providing 2 or 3 reasons like that isn't an easy way to approach a 1 minute answer. So here's how I would do it. Okay, so one, I always do both, right? I would have to say I agree that actors need to be attractive, and I would have to say I disagree that actors need to be attractive. There are other factors to be successful. Okay. So I would have to talk about an example of a not attractive actor who is good at maybe just who has pure good acting skills and became very successful. Who is there to talk about? Oh, okay. So a lot of you guys must have watched Parasite, right? And in the movie Parasite, you know the father who was acting the driver? 송강호. He's not good looking. He's not a good looking actor at all. I'm sorry. But still, of course he has charms. I believe he has his own charms, but to me, I don't think he looks attractive. But still, he's very successful because he has like his own unique acting style. Okay, so I'll talk about him. Okay, so here I go. I agree that actors need to be attractive in order to be successful, and there are several reasons to support my opinion. And most of all, I think it is very helpful to attract more fans. For example, I'm a huge fan of. Hold on a second. I haven't thought about my example for that. Okay, I don't want to say Tom Cruise. What am I a fan of? What am I a fan of? I am a big fan of. Who am I a fan of? Oh, yes. Okay. Ryan Gosling. I agree that actors need to be attractive in order to be successful, and there are several reasons to support my opinion. And most of all, I think it's very helpful to attract more fans. For example, I'm a big fan of Ryan Gosling, and I think he is so attractive. He is tall, he has beautiful eyes, he's gorgeous. I'm a huge fan of him, and when I saw him in the movie The Notebook for the first time, like 20 years ago, I fell in love with him. So ever since then, I've been following him. I've been watching all of his movies, The Drivers, and recently he was in a movie called The Barbie. Although the movie wasn't so good, the movie was a success. And then he also appeared in some movie, The La La Land, and he looked so good and he performed very well too. So like that, you need to be attractive in order to like gain fans and have them watch all of your movies. And that's why actors need to be attractive in order to be successful. Okay, so I talked about my actor. Okay, Ryan Gosling. Now I'm going to talk about the other. I disagree that actors need to be attractive in order to be successful. And there are several reasons to support my opinion. And most of all, I think it is unnecessary. Sometimes if you are a good actor, you can be successful. For example, in Korea, there is an actor named Song Kang-ho, and he is not a good looking man. And, he is not, he isn't attractive at all. But he is a good actor. He acts very, very well. He has good acting skills. And, he's been in movie industry for a long time. Most of his movies are very, very successful. And Recently, he appeared in a movie called Parasite, and it became internationally famous, and he became famous as well. And people can agree that he's not an attractive person, even in that movie, but still, got a lot of praisal from a lot of people around the world, and he won an award or something. So he's very successful, but not that attractive to many. So that's why I think so. I really feel bad about talking like this about a guy. But yes, Bruce Lee studied English very hard. Yeah. Yeah. Bruce Lee. See, looking attractive really is very subjective thing. You know, Bruce Lee to me, what do you guys think? He is attractive, I think. He has that smiley eyes. He's very cute and he has that sense of humor. So he's very like attractive to me. I don't know. It's a very subjective thing to discuss. But to me, Mr. Song isn't that attractive, but he's super successful. He's like one of the most successful like actors from Korea, I think. All right, so we've covered all 5 parts. And yes, we've finished it. Now, I have a question from Fuke DB. Hi, Mrs. I'm Miss Gwen. I'm not very sorry. Can I get 10 more points if I speak loudly? I definitely agree that you can get higher score if you speak loudly. Because most students that I teach in Korea, when they're not confident, their voices tend to get smaller and it's really hard to understand what they're talking about. So if you speak louder and slower and more clearer, it does have a better delivery. And if you can get a better delivery, if you have a better delivery, then the person who's rating your answer can give you a better score, right? And that is when you make no mistakes. Okay, so if you say the same sentence and if you deliver that correct same sentence in a louder voice, of course, you will get better score. Yes. So speak loudly. Don't shout. You don't have to shout, but speak clearly enough so that the other person, the rater on the other side of that microphone, can understand you. Okay? Bruce Lee's English is very, very easy to understand. Yeah. Oh, Hang Trin. Thank you for joining. Thank you for becoming the member. Welcome to the family. All right. So once the show is over, you guys can rewatch the show if you're a member. But it will be only for the members for 3 months. Last 3 shows are only open to the members, but after that, after like a month or so, a month and a half, it's open to everyone. Okay. We're trying to preserve the copyrights of the show because a lot of people know that we update the questions every 2 weeks. So people come to copy. All right. So this is to prevent those people who are like trying to get things from our, YouTube site for free. So, all right. So Emma, yes, we highly encourage you to join the member, become one of our members if you would like to see the recent shows. And I have news for you guys. Now, in June, I have a big project that's coming up. It's like I have to go somewhere. So, to teach. And I can't be in Seoul to do the live show for the second week of June. So I'll be doing a live show next week, Friday, to substitute that show for the second week Friday, which is supposed to be. The next live show is supposed to happen on the 13th, but instead it's going to happen on the 6th of June. Okay, so that's going to be next Friday. So guys, next Friday, you'll have another opportunity to be on the live show. But the thing is that live show is going to be in Korean. But you know that I'll be providing the answers in English. Okay. So the next live show will be on the 6th Friday, not the 13th. And the last week, which is the 27th of June, Friday, will be the English live show, right? So next month, there will be 2 lives on June 6th and on June 27th. Okay, and June 6th will be the Korean show, and on June 27th will be the English show. And here's another question. I lack a point and a conclusion, but I gave a story fluently. Though, 1 minute. Whole test. My pronunciation is good. How much can I get, Ms.? This is like the toughest question for me. I would have to hear your like recording to give you an honest feedback. But if you lack a point and a conclusion, it's really hard to say you can get 160. I think even if your pronunciation is good enough, you need to have a point for last question. So 150, yes. 160 if you're lucky. Okay. And grammar does matter if you want to get 160 or higher. So make sure you keep that in mind. Okay. All right, guys. So that was the last show of May. And next month is going to be June. And I'll be seeing you again next Friday. So be there or see me at the end of June. Okay. Bye bye.